Namaskar, Adab. This is your astrologer friend Irfan back with you after some time difference, after some hiatus. So my apologies for coming back late, I got a little busy. However, now that I'm back, I'm going to share with you more videos on astrology and different placements. Now recently, about a week back, Rahu moved into Gemini and Ketu has moved into Sagittarius in transit, and they're going to be there for 1.5 years each. Now you must have seen a lot of videos on YouTube where you must have seen that people are giving the analysis of Rahu and Ketu transit in Gemini and Sagittarius respectively. But what a lot of videos are missing out is that while Rahu has moved into Gemini and Ketu has moved into Sagittarius, in Sagittarius Saturn is already in transit. Saturn is sitting there. Now what does it mean? When Ketu and Saturn both are sitting in Sagittarius, the results of that combination or that conjunction and with Saturn aspect on Rahu in Gemini is going to be different. It's not going to be just like Rahu in Gemini and Ketu in Sagittarius. It is going to be Rahu in Gemini, Ketu and Saturn in Sagittarius with Saturn's aspect on Rahu as well. Now this could mean different for different ascendants. I'll give you an example. Say Saturn sits in the Lagna in Aquarius, in Kumbh, and Rahu, and you find the analysis of that. Fair enough. And then you also find an analysis of Rahu sitting in the third house in Aries. Fair enough. Now, if you look at single planetary placements, what you miss out in this combination is, if in your natal chart, Saturn is sitting in the Lagna and Rahu is sitting in the third house, Saturn is aspecting Rahu with its third aspect. So, when you look at the result of transit of Rahu being in Gemini and Ketu being in Sagittarius along with Saturn, the results are going to be different because Saturn is aspecting Rahu in your natal chart and now in transit as well. So what I'm going to do is, rather than making it more complicated for you, where I make one video on all the 12 ascendants together, so that somebody who is a Libra ascendant doesn't have to watch 6 videos of Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and so on before you get to your own. I'm going to create separate videos for all the 12 ascendants on this current transit where Rahu is moved into Gemini and Ketu and Saturn have moved into Sagittarius. So friends, let's look at what this transit of Rahu and Ketu in Gemini and Sagittarius means for Aries ascendants. So for the Aries ascendant people, Rahu has recently transited into Gemini, which is your third house, and Ketu has transited into Sagittarius, which is your 9th house. And Saturn is already transiting or already placed there in Sagittarius in your 9th house. So what does it mean? Now firstly, what does it mean when Rahu transits into in any house? It means that Rahu increases the energy or the manifestation of that particular sign and house. So here Rahu sitting in the third house of effort, of being self-driven, of also business, also performing arts, is going to increase your energies or your focus or your expectation from that house, which means that automatically you are going to put in more hard work because it is the house of effort. So you're going to put more hard work. If you are into performing arts, you like to paint, you like to write, you're going to probably focus on that more. You may write more, you may want to market yourself more, you may want to communicate more to people. So you may find that suddenly communication is of the essence, your focus is on communication. You may feel that you're not communicating enough to people, you're not marketing your business enough, you're not marketing your department enough, you're not marketing your services enough, and the focus is going to be on that. So this is going to be communication, hard work, putting in more effort, because of Rahu's energy being manifested in Gemini in the third house. Now, what does Rahu's aspects mean? So, one of Rahu's aspects is the 5th house. Now, for Aries ascendant people, Rahu is going to aspect or aspecting the 7th house in Libra. Now, what is the 7th house in Libra? The 7th house is that of relationships, of other people, marital happiness, and also of others, and also of business partnerships. So which means that Rahu aspecting the 7th house in Libra, the focus is going to be of Aries Ascendant people on other people and also spouse. So Aries Ascendant people will expect more out of their relation, because Libra also stands for relationships, and 7th house also means other people. So they will expect more out of their spouse, expect more out of their business partnership, expect more out of immediate relation, whether it's mother, father, brother, sister, but the focus is going to be more on spouse and business partnerships and people you work with. So what will Rahu do? Rahu will increase your expectation from them, increase the hunger that you have for the results of that house, and you may ask your spouse, or you may start thinking about spouse, that why am I getting less from this relationship? I come on time, or I take time off from my work to be with my spouse, but she doesn't give me time. Whereas on the other hand, your spouse may feel what has happened to him suddenly. Earlier he was okay, he would be patient when I would come home, but now suddenly he expects me to find more time. I am also working. And if the spouse is not working, Aries Ascendant person would say, I come home and have to wait for so much time before you give me food, before you give me a cup of tea. But the spouse may think that earlier he used to come and he used to be patient and he used to wait till I gave him tea or food. Now he is so impatient, he wants things immediately from me, and if I am not able to serve him immediately or help him or support him, then he gets angry, he gets impatient with me. So this challenge, this particular transit of Rahu into Gemini aspecting the 7th house is going to be a challenge for Aries Ascendant. And Rahu also is going to ask more out of his business partnership. So if you are doing business and you are in a partnership, you may feel that I'm giving in so much more to the business, whereas my partners are not doing enough. So maybe I should get more out of this partnership, but the percentage of mine should be higher. I should get more gains, I should get more profits. So there's going to be, or bound to be, some friction with your business partners also. And you may also focus on marketing more or communicating more for your business, for your effort to get more gains out of the business partnership. Now the other aspect of Rahu is the 9th aspect, which falls on Aquarius in the 11th house. Now what does 11th house stand for? 11th house stands for social network, friends, your social circle, people that you know, large organizations. So Rahu's focus is going to be that how can I get more gains out of my social network, out of my social circle, out of my extended circle, out of my friends, out of my contacts. So Rahu will expect more out of that network and will want to communicate more, go and meet them more, may want to network with them more, because Rahu is sitting in the 3rd house in Gemini, in the sign of communication. And he just then tells his friends and extended network, you know what, let's work together, let's get going. He may even offer a partnership or some chance to working together. And the social network or extended circle may feel, oh nice, okay, but what's happened to him suddenly that he is expecting more communication from him, rewards from us, and also expecting more gains from us. Or Aries Ascendant may even be complaining to his friends or social network that, you don't communicate with me, you don't get in touch with me often, and we haven't met often, you've forgotten me, and all that sort of stuff may happen. So one needs to be very careful. The Aries Ascendant people need to be very careful how they come across to their friends, the social network, the extended circle, in their own organization, also with, if their work is related with government there, and if they're working in large organization, how they come across to their supervisors, to their peers, and so forth. Now what does Ketu mean? Ketu sitting in the 9th house in Sagittarius means that Ketu is going to absorb the results of the house and the sign it sits in. The difference between Rahu and Ketu is, Rahu is like the white color, whereas Ketu is like the black color. What does that mean? Like the white color reflects everything that is put on it. The black color, on the other hand, absorbs all the energy, all the colors, all the heat of what is going to be focused on it. So for example, you use white screens in the cinema theater because it reflects all the colors and you're able to see all the colors. The Rahu is like that white screen, or white walls, which reflect more light, and that's why people like to have
a lot of people like to have their walls painted white. Or if you have a lot of mirrors in a room with one candle, all the mirrors reflect back that one candle, giving you more light in the room. Rahu is like that. It increases, enhances, exponentially increases the results or expands the results of the sign and the house it sits in. So while Rahu expands and gives you more hunger, more energy, more focus on the sign it sits in aspects, Ketu on the other hand absorbs all the results. So which means Ketu sitting in the 9th house of gains, of travel, of spirituality, of religiosity, which means that a person will feel more lethargic, will feel that his gains are getting tied up, he is not able to get enough gains from his travels, not able to get enough gains from his work, not able to get enough gains from his business. He may be less religious, less spiritual, he may feel more lethargic to do his puja, to do his worship, and he will come across as somebody who is feeling a little frustrated that gains are not coming to me. Or on the other hand, he may be completely spiritual, almost like not wanting to do anything with the world, and too spiritual, going to temples and spiritual places, and completely oblivious of the gains or the money that can come to him. So this is what Ketu in the 9th house can make you feel. Now what does Ketu's 5th aspect mean? Now from the 9th house, Ketu aspects the Lagna or the 1st house. Now what does that mean? It means that Ketu absorbs the results of the 1st house, or the focus is less on self. Here you will find Aries Ascendant people will find that you are focusing less on yourself, focusing less on your health, focusing less on how you look, how you feel, how you smell, focusing less on your personality. Which means when Rahu comes across as very aggressive to his spouse, to business partners, and to his extended network and to his social circle, Ketu on the other hand makes him not wanting to see how he's coming across to them and how his personality is getting affected because of Rahu energy. So while people may feel, why is he acting very selfish, very greedy, but because Ketu's aspect on the 1st house, the Aries Ascendant people are oblivious how their personality and how they're seen by other people is getting affected, because the focus is not on the self, the focus is on others. And with its 9th aspect, Ketu is aspecting the 5th house. What is the 5th house? The 5th house is the house of romance, the house of children, the house of gains, the house of speculative gains, the house of all that you like, your hobbies, performing arts to large audiences, and so forth. So Ketu absorbing the results of the 5th house mean that the person, the Aries Ascendant native, may, while he is expecting more out of spouse because of Rahu's aspect on the 7th house of spouse, the romance has completely taken off in the relationship, which means that during the duration of Ketu's transit in Sagittarius, in the 9th house and aspecting the 5th house, person feels less romantic, he is more demanding, more aggressive, but is not pampering to his wife, not coming across as romantic to his wife, doesn't want to go on a romantic date with his wife or spouse, but he wants to do more. So socially he wants to do less, but he wants to gain more out of the social network. He probably will get less time to spend on children. He may miss out on important parent-teacher meetings or activities of children or any performance of children. So he'll be running helter-skelter just to accommodate them because he's too focused on business, too focused on his career, too focused on his social work, extended social network, because he's trying to get gains. So one needs to be very, very careful of this aspect, because these two energies, yin and yang, are going to produce some turmoil in his personal life. Now, what does Saturn mean? Saturn and Ketu conjunction together mean? While Ketu is an absorbing factor, Saturn is the limiting factor. So what does Saturn do? Saturn tells the native that, you know what, to get the results of this house, you will have to be very diligent. You will have to work very hard. If you don't work very hard, if you're not diligent, then I'm not going to give you the results of where I sit in. Which means that unless you are going to put in, it's like having a bank account with a minimal balance. If you don't have a minimum balance, the bank will charge you. Saturn is like that energy. So with at least some effort or some minimum threshold effort, the person will have to be committed, will have to be diligent to get results, otherwise he will not get. On the other hand, Ketu is absorbing all the results, so there is a lot of frustration. So while a person keeps putting in very hard work, becomes very diligent, and because of the Rahu energy is also focused and on the house of effort, and Saturn makes him become very committed, putting in effort, Ketu absorbs the results. So the frustration comes in that I'm putting in a lot of hard work, I'm being very diligent, I'm being very committed to my work, yet the results don't come. Now what does Saturn do sitting in the 9th house in Sagittarius? It aspects its own house, own sign, that is Aquarius, with its third aspect. Now the funny thing is, or the interesting thing is, Rahu is also aspecting the same house. So while Rahu expects more out of Aquarius, more out of his social network, and wants more gains out of it, Saturn's aspect, which is not considered to be good, Saturn, where Saturn sits in, is more protective of it, gives you more stability over a period of time with commitment, with diligence. Third aspect or its aspects are not considered to be that great. So here Saturn limits the results of or gains from social network, limits the gains from career, limits the work or gains coming from working in or for large organizations or with large organizations, whereas Rahu expects more. So there is again going to be bound to be friction, is going to be two energies working at not balancing each other out. Rahu is expecting more gains out of his social network, whereas Saturn says without being more diligent, without working with them for long hours of time, without putting in more, without investing your energies and your effort with people of your social network, of your extended circle, you are not going to get gains. The other aspect that Saturn has from here is the 7th aspect on Rahu. So this is a very interesting combination, because here Saturn is telling Rahu or the Aries Ascendant that while you're working very hard, because Rahu sits in the 3rd house of effort, so you will put in more effort, but if you don't put in the effort with commitment, with diligence, with structure, with order, then I'm not going to allow you to get gains. So here the person will come on time, will follow our order, will follow a structure, put in long hours of work, because of Rahu's energy is in the 3rd house, and will work with commitment, will work with diligence. However, Ketu sitting in here in the same house, in the 9th house, will not give you gain. So the frustration will come in for Aries Ascendant. They'll say, I'm working so hard, I'm working with so much commitment, working with so much diligence, I'm working with so much organized effort, like clockwork, yet I'm not getting the gains. And the other aspect that Saturn has, or the 10th aspect that Saturn has, is on the 6th house of service, and the 6th house is also the house of career, or working with other people or with colleagues. It's also the house of sickness. It is also the loss of the 7th house, because that is 12th to the 7th house. So Saturn's aspect on the 6th house means that in service, in your career, in your work sphere, in a day-to-day environment of working, you will have to put in your commitment, you will have to be diligent, you will have to show your how you work with your colleagues, and you need to respect the people and subordinates. Otherwise, there's going to be challenges, there are going to be friction, because while you put in the effort, Ketu will not allow you to get results of your diligence and your effort. And because Saturn and Ketu are malefic energies, Saturn is a malefic energy, though Virgo is a friendly sign, yet there may be sicknesses which may suddenly come about. You may fall sick because Ketu's aspect on the Lagna is not allowing you to focus on your health, focus on yourself. So you may neglect yourself and end up paying the price of being sick and not being able to take care of yourself. So there may be visit to the doctor or to the clinic, because the 6th house is of work, which also is the house of doctors and health. And it is also the house or sign of your intestines. So you may even develop some stomach ailments, food poisoning and so forth. So one has to be very, very diligent. So overall for Aries Ascendants, it means with these three energies, Rahu, Saturn and Ketu energies reflecting each other and pulling each other in different directions, it means that you need to be extremely patient. You will have to work with a lot of diligence. You will have to work with a lot of commitment. You have to reach out and communicate with your spouse and with your extended social circle. However, you have to keep a lot of patience, not expect gains, and be very, very patient for the gains to come in, because there is going to be a challenge. But based on how your other planetary placements are, it means different things for different people. So if, for example, Mars is placed in Aries, it's a different result from where if Mars is placed in your 7th house or Mars is placed in your 3rd house in Gemini. So based on your other planetary placement like Sun, Venus, Mercury, you or Jupiter, different results may come about. Some of the results may be more strongly manifested. For example, if Mars is sitting in the 1st house, or Mars is sitting in the natal chart, in your Lagna chart, in either of these houses, and it could be in different things for if Mars is placed in the same 8th house and the 5th house or the 12th house. So for different Aries natives with different planetary ascendants, planetary placements, it could be in different things. However, what I have told you in transit, Rahu into Gemini and Ketu just now moving into Sagittarius where Saturn is sitting, what I have just told you about the results, these will come about to a large extent with some changes here and there based on your planetary placements. So my suggestion to you is, if you want a personal consultation, reach out to me in my email ID, in my links below, and try and find what does this mean for you. Now this is going to continue till Jupiter moves into Sagittarius, which is beginning of November or 5th or 6th of November, and if there will be different results when Saturn moves out of Sagittarius into Capricorn in the last week of January. So we'll talk about that later, but at least for the next 10 months, these are the results that you are going to face. So gear up, be ready for it.
So now that you have seen the results of Rahu and Ketu transit for one ascendant into Gemini and Sagittarius, along with the placement of Saturn there. For more videos of the other ascendants, please check out and wait for the other videos which will follow this particular one. And to be better prepared for this particular transit for your ascendant, and also for a life reading, so that you understand yourself, your horoscope, what results you may face in the coming dasha, in the coming period of various transits, and to know how you can be better geared up for your life, please reach out to me in the email ID in the link below and get a consultation from me. So till such time that I get back to you with a new video, or you get in touch with me for a consultation. Ciao.